screen, and hire quality people faster. Learn more at Indeed.com/credit.
7:37 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time and Jim Telemonti.
Reagan Tollway westbound traffic is packed solid from the Veterans Memorial Tollway to 53. There's a crash blocking 2 right lanes, and this is causing delays on the northbound Veterans Memorial from Maple to Reagan Tollway. Right now it's 28 minutes from I-80 up to 290. Southbound the trip time is 27 minutes. We're seeing delays on the eastbound Adams Tollway 59 past Barrington Road after an earlier collision there. Inbound Kennedy. Delays start around 190. It's 51 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 32 from Montrose, 21 on the Express. Eisenhower 47 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson 40 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Cloudy, not as warm. Morning rain turns into afternoon showers and maybe a thunderstorm. We have an elevated risk of severe weather later in the day. High 75. Thunderstorms continue into the overnight with a low of 53. 60 degrees officially at O'Hare. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
From the Matrix Home Solutions studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 The Answer online at 560theanswer.com, on the AM 560 mobile app, on your Alexa-powered smart speaker, and on TuneIn, iHeart, and on Odyssey. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Boy, veterans have been given short shrift in Illinois the last couple gubernatorial administrations. First, it was the Legionnaire's disease outbreak under Rauner, and then it was the COVID outbreak under Pritzker. Obviously, COVID not limited to Illinois the way the Legionnaire's disease was, but nonetheless, what happened at the LaSalle Veterans Home, what was and was not being and was not being done, is a matter of further inquiry and conversation, much like we talk about the situation with nursing homes in places like New York State and New York City. Because what were the numbers on the LaSalle Veterans Home?
70 people dead. LaSalle, I think 36 deaths.
Right, but
due to COVID.
And overall?
And overall 70 in 4 different VA homes in Illinois.
Yeah.
Could they have been prevented? Yes.
Well,
and then the IDPH releases this report at 6 a.m. on a Friday.
And
they think no one's watching.
And the top line of the report from Department of Public Health with respect to what happened at the veterans' homes is, a bunch of corrective actions that are sort of the cut and paste you would expect from a bureaucracy. For more color on that report and whether or not it goes far enough, starting with the accountability piece before we get to the remediation piece going forward, pleased to be joined by Andrew Tegan, who's a superintendent at Veterans Assistance Commission of Lake County, Illinois. Andrew, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan and Amy.
So I understand you work with our friend, Medal of Honor recipient, American hero, Sergeant Alan Lynch, on these issues with respect to the veterans, the treatment of veterans in this state. And so what should we understand about those COVID outbreaks in those homes that claimed those lives that Amy described, and then the response, the accountability, the response in terms of this report?
Yeah, so one of the things for your listeners to understand is that there had already been a report that came out where they were instructed to create procedures that made sure each and every one of the homes were following those procedures, and that came out in 2019. That report actually wasn't even followed, and it's actually covered in this report, I believe, towards the end, to talk about how previous recommendations were not put in place. And I think that what this report laid bare was a complete failure in leadership and procedures within the IDVA. which is unfortunate because, as you said, 36 veterans at one home, 70 veterans overall, and if you add in the Legionnaires, you're talking over 100 veterans in the last 4 years have died because of failing to follow procedures.
Well, what was the most, if we focus on the LaSalle VA, what was the most egregious thing that took place? Because I remember there was a time, Sergeant Alan Lynch, he had come on the program, and you guys were trying to get soap into the place because they tell people to wash their hands, but they didn't even have soap or shampoo.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so they didn't have the appropriate hand sanitizer at LaSalle. It was a non-alcoholic, non-CDC approved hand sanitizer that was being used. Staff members were not following the procedures. The leadership team was not putting down what needed to be done. They weren't providing procedures and guidance. The former chief of staff, Tony Colbeck, it's revealed in the report, he stated that he put it on the homes to follow the procedures, and he was the man who was supposed to be providing oversight to the homes. So there's quite a bit in this report that goes to issues within the IDVA that, if they had been corrected, it might not have prevented an outbreak, but it would have lessened it.
I also recall when this story was first breaking about the spread in these homes, and I think it was LaSalle homes specifically, that there was a problem similar to what we've reported in several states, most notably New York, of reintroducing or at minimum keeping infected individuals in the home rather than isolating them. And I wonder what we now know about that.
Right. So one of the things the report lays bare is that they had an area set up for a quarantine area, but they had moved veterans who were not infected with COVID into that area before they started moving the infected veterans into that area. So the veterans who were infected with COVID were walking past the veterans who were not infected with COVID as they were being moved to different parts of the home, which contributed to the spread increasing.
Oh my God! And what about? I had heard, and I just want to know if this is true or not, that some of the staff members at LaSalle went to work even though they knew they had COVID. Is that true?
So I don't think that's in the report. I know that there was somebody who was at work who got the results back as being positive and did not leave. Was actually allowed to stay and finish their shift.
Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, particularly the spread where they didn't isolate, and as you say, they didn't follow the protocols from the 2019 report, and there was just sort of we assumed the homes are following the protocols, and we're not doing any follow-up, all that you described in that report. So what has been the accountability? I haven't heard much mention of this in conversations that the press has had with Governor Pritzker. I haven't heard much in the way of terminations or any other sorts of accountability actions with respect to, apparently through incompetence or negligence, exacerbating the spread of COVID in these homes that was otherwise preventable.
So I actually met with the new director, Director Prince, on Friday to talk about this report and some other issues that are going on within IDVA. And one of the accountability aspects is that the chief of staff is leaving. Mr. Colbeck has tendered his resignation. And also, there is actually an organization called the National Association of State Veterans Homes that Illinois has never been a part of. And this organization actually provides guidance on the proper implementations of plans and policies and standard operating procedures for homes. And Director Prince is going to plan on entering into that association so that they can start creating standard operating procedures across the spectrum. There are further further implementation of new procedures that are being done. Director Prince is working very hard to fix this issue and make sure that it doesn't happen again.
What do we understand about what Governor Pritzker knew about what had happened and what was happening, and what, if any, responsibility does he bear for what occurred?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. So what the report talks about is that Director Chapalavia had abdicated her duties and authorities to the chief of staff, and the assistant director Anthony Vaughn basically admitted that in the report, and so did Mr. Colbeck, and they stated that they were charting a ship without clear direction, and I think Governor Pritzker admitted it when he was asked the question about Director Chapalavia, and he said he made a mistake.
Yep.
And I think that he has chosen a director and Director Prince, and this is my initial read on him, and Medal of Honor recipient Al Lynch and I met with him on Friday, and we were both impressed, and we think that Governor Pritzker realizes the mistake that was made in Chapalavia, and he brought somebody in who went through the COVID pandemic in Ohio. He was the head of all of the nursing homes, the veteran nursing homes in Ohio, and he is somebody who I think will bring the type of leadership and change to IDVA that we've been starving for quite some time.
It was so weird because Pritzker defended Chapalavia time after time after time, and then now it's a complete about face, which he said on Friday, which I thought was shocking. Is that the only way he could save himself?
Yeah, and I think that him admitting to that shows that he realizes that something was going on that he wasn't being informed about.
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, I heard what you said, and I don't know anything about this Prince, this new guy, other than the bio points that you described, and so give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, and by the way, congratulations, Aurora. Imagine a state rep like Chapalavia turning out to be incompetent there. But, this is all about virtue signaling and identity politics. It's not about taking care of veterans. I hope that message gets sent far and wide in this godforsaken state. That's number one. Number two, and I was highly critical of Bruce Rauner. So this isn't a Republican Democrat either. Highly critical of him. In fact, I ran commercials against him on this Legionnaires issue, that outbreak, because he was asleep at the switch. He was too slow to move. And so I got to apply the same standard with Pritzker. It's fine to say I made a mistake after the fact and I replaced, but wait a second. It wasn't getting up to me. How can this not get up to you? You're having daily briefings about all things COVID. How can 70 dead veterans not get up to you? How can outbreaks at veterans homes not get up to you? So your chief of staff needs to go, or you need to go, or there needs to be some greater explanation, more detailed explanation of exactly what you knew and what, if any, action you took, when you took it, or why you didn't take it. This, like, I replaced the person who screwed up, that's not good enough for me. I don't know about you.
Well, no, and I totally agree. And I think now is a perfect time for IDVA to have an Office of Inspector General. It's one of the only agencies in the state that doesn't have its own Inspector General. It's never had an oversight arm within the agency itself. It was proposed to create an Office of Inspector General in the House. It was House Bill 359, House Bill Amendment 1. During the negotiations, it changed. There was a House Bill Amendment 2 that created the Veterans Accountability Unit within the IDVA, which is not the same as an Office of Inspector General within the IDVA. And I think one of the things we need to do as Illinoisans is to call on the Senate, because they now have House Bill 359 for consideration, to create an Office of Inspector General within the IDVA, an independent investigative body that can actually hold accountable the people within IDVA and can actually do the things that they need to do. Because for far too long, IDVA, the report lays bare on page 30 of the report. It says, the bottom of the page, it says, indeed, the organizational structure offers little oversight over the chief of staff or assistant director positions other than the director herself, and no reporting relationship to the assistant director. Responsibilities are not evenly distributed, and there are few, if any, checks on decision making. IDVA needs an Office of Inspector General. That's what this report is saying.
Yeah, few, if any, checks on decision making. That's a problem in Illinois writ large. Andrew Tegan, Superintendent of the Veterans Assistance Commission of Lake County, Illinois, that is. And Andrew, thanks so much for joining us, and give our regards to Sergeant Al Lynch as well. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Did you miss the open enrollment this year? I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan all year long that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, and if you're 50 years old and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. The least expensive ACA PPO health insurance plan is $540 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $8,550 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium down to $273 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $6,050 in total out-of-pocket costs per person with my lower deductible, and you save $267 per month with my lower premiums. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
All right. People always come up to me and say, does balance of nature really work? Yes, it does. I have more energy. My skin feels better. My hair feels thicker. More energy when I work out, and then I could sleep better at night. And Peyton and Eli have been taking it, so have my mom, and they take it every day because they've noticed a difference as well. And you could be like one of the cool kids and order your bottles of fruits and veggies today. What it is 6 capsule. You're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies. And again, the stories that you hear on this radio station, those are not actors. Those are satisfied balance of nature customers. And again, you could be one too. So be proactive. Do something for yourself. Right now, Balance of Nature offering free shipping and 35% off any new preferred order of fruits and veggies. So start your journey to better health today. 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or go online to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
If you're employed in manufacturing or assembly or want to be, there's a company in the western suburbs that wants to talk to you right now. This is a company that not only employs skilled labor, but appreciates it and values the work you do. This is Greg Raskushka, president of Magna Schultz of America. We're a family-owned company where time with the company is measured not in days or months, but years and decades. Opportunity for advancement is always there, and your hard work is appreciated every day. Our company is growing. We have full-time openings for assembly operators and CNC Swiss machinists. Magna Schultz of America is always considered a high-tech leader in our industry, and we're on a journey to be enduringly great. Be part of our group of curious, gritty team members that take ownership and pride in their work and the company. A place where your problem-solving skills are appreciated.
Here's how to connect. Call 630-789-0600. Magna Schultz of America is hiring right now and wants your skills. 630-789-0600.
Turnkey IT, yes, you know them. They've been with us for many years now, and they help hundreds of Chicagoland businesses, many of which also are supporters of AM 560. And now Turnkey IT turns a new chapter in their business, Turnkey Consulting. Turnkey Consulting came out of the need for so many small businesses looking for help